Hi, I'm author Shelby Wild, and I wrote a children's picture book called Scavenger Scout Rockhound. And this is a book about a 7-year-old rockhound named Scout, and she hunts her favorite rocks, and she goes to extreme lengths to get them. In fact, in the book, she's telling us the stories of how she acquired her most favorite specimens, and the stories are a little more fantasy than reality, but the actual rocks that she hunts are real. In this book, she hunts azurite, alexandrite, and fluorite, but not in the places you'd expect. She encounters dragons, mermaids, and aliens, and has to use science, technology, engineering, and math concepts, or STEM concepts, in order to take home her treasured rocks. I wanted to share some tips with you today for rock hounding with young kids. And these tips are specific to the younger set of kids. Of course, the older kids can use more of the adult tools, but the tools I'm going to share with you today are geared much more for the younger kids. So I've got 3 tips for you. Number 1, erosion is your friend. When you're thinking about places to go rock hounding, make it easy on yourself and go to places that are near water. So if you have a creek or a stream or a lake or the ocean near you, consider that as a place to take your younger kids. A lot of the stones that you will find there are right on the surface. You don't have to do a lot of digging. You don't have to use adult tools like a crack hammer and chisel and a pickaxe, which are some of the tools that Scout uses because she's a professional. So that is my number 1 top tip, is consider erosion. Of course, there's water or wind that has weathered away the top layers and exposed the really cool stuff underneath. So if you want a quick win for your kid, again, look at streams, lakes, rivers, creeks, and the ocean. Those are fabulous places to take your kids. My number 2 tip, which to me is just as important, is tools. It's all about the tools. What do kids want to be? They want to be adults. And what do adults use? Tools. So I took a quick trip to the dollar store, and I just rounded up a bunch of tools that you guys can use with your kids, and it's super cheap. Taking your kids rock hunting is a great outdoor activity because it's inexpensive. It's pretty much free. A lot of this stuff you'll have around your house. And if you don't, you can just head over to the dollar store and pick it up really cheap. So check this out. How cute is this? It's this cute little caddy. I mean, kids love to put things in compartments, and this has got a couple of compartments. So this is $1 at the dollar store. So I thought that'd be cute to stuff with some tools to get them excited. You know, you tell them what you're doing, but then you say, and guess what? There's tools. And if your kids are like mine, they're going to be super excited. So here's some tools that you can use, especially with the younger kids. Popsicle sticks. These are great for digging in the ground. There's no sharp edges. It's perfect. Another tool that's great for kids, which you don't necessarily have to have, but again, if you pitch it to them like it's a tool, they're going to be more excited. So they can pretend to be like they're trying to unearth dinosaur bones, or you can talk to them about how, you know, nature is delicate and we sometimes have to be careful and we want to see what we're trying to get out of the ground. So if it is a little bit below the surface, they can kind of see it. And if your kids are a little older and you're comfortable with it, dollar store you get a 4-pack of screwdrivers that are super tiny, different lengths. So none of these are professional rock hounding tools, but they work just great for kids who are young, and they will feel important and they will have a great time looking for rocks. What's another one? So this isn't really a tool, but it's for afterwards. Again, compartments. Where are they going to put the rocks afterwards? All over your house, really, really. But you can attempt to contain them once in a while. And this, I found this at the dollar store as well. It's got all kinds of compartments. All of them here for you. Isn't that great? And along those lines, make sure you have Ziploc bags. Because that way your kids can put their selected rocks in here and look at them on the way home in the car or the train or the bus, and without having to take them out and get dirt and sand all over your car, or mud, depending on, you know, where you were hunting. They can see them right there. I love it. And then these are kind of tools if you're going to go more towards the beach. And again, you have these already probably, but just think about it from a rock hounding perspective, because sieves, great for loose dirt, gravel, sand. The rocks will be a lot easier for your kids to find. I'm always thinking of ways to make it easier for the kids to find what they need, because as they build up skills, then they'll be willing to put more work into it. Of course, these for loose stuff, and a bucket. You're going to want a bucket, and we'll talk more about how to keep your kids from filling up that bucket. And this type of a kind of a wire basket, again, dollar store, fabulous for the beach or anywhere there's loose gravel. That way it filters out before it gets to your car. Very important. So that was number 2 tip, the tools, lots of different tools. Oh, one more thing I want to mention, and something you already have, of course, when you're in the sun, sunblock and hats. I consider those tools. You kind of have to have them. So number 3 tip, I referenced it earlier when I talked about the bucket. So this is how not to have your kids fill up a bucket with rocks. Set a limit and communicate it to them early on. So when you're on your way to where you're going or the night before, just say, yeah, we're going to have a great time looking for all these rocks, and we can gather as many as you want, and then we'll pick our 5 favorite rocks from the pile. It may not work, but it works with my kids. But then I will say I still have piles of rocks. But I have far fewer than I would have if I didn't set a limit. So set a limit early and tell them what the expectation is. You get to pick your 5 favorite. The cool thing about that technique is it gets them to gather all these rocks, and then they get to go through them again and kind of relive the joy that they felt when they were hunting for them. So, and that's how not to fill up a bucket. I think I have one bonus tip for you I want to say. Oh yeah, a change of clothes. If you're a parent of a young kid, especially under 5, you already do this, but again, bring a change of clothes with you. I consider it, an important tip, because then you don't have to worry about the environment in which you're hunting. It could be wet, it could be muddy, it could be the beach, and they're going to get wet when they wade in, especially if it's low tide. It's good to just have that change of clothes and you don't have to worry about it. So I hope these tips were helpful, and I hope, my goal is to really make rock hunting a top activity for kids, because it's got so many benefits. It's inexpensive, it gets kids outside, it gives them a mission, gives them a reason for being outside. You can even go so far as to create a scavenger hunt. You can take it in so many different directions, but I hope this was helpful, some top tips. Thanks so much, and check out the links in my summary down there. Thank you.